Okay, so in today's video I have got week 18 of my 365 days of art challenge, so if you want to see what I do this week then keep on watching. Okay, so the first one that I did this week was designing a pattern on a lampshade basically, but I couldn't really think of anything to do to begin with, so I decided to just kind of put like a wash of colour down and then just kind of see how I felt afterwards. So I just opened my like watercolours up and then just decided on a colour that I thought was nice, and then just laid it down basically. It was a little bit darker than I had initially anticipated it being, but in the end I feel like it still looked pretty good. The only thing with it is that I guess because I was using watercolour, the previous like task that I had done kind of bled through and there was some like black pen on that one, so it was like a little bit like muddy, the colour, but once I'd added all of like the patterns afterwards it didn't turn out too bad. But yeah, I basically just added a bunch of patterns afterwards, just like triangles and circles and stripes and stuff, and then just on like the inside I added the same pattern on there as well, just so obviously it looks like it's going round and it's like a proper like 3D shape. So yeah, in overall I quite like that one. The next one that I did was this calligraphy one. I still have loads of calligraphy tasks left to do, but I decided to go for this like alphabet one, which was actually felt a lot more simple than some of the other ones that I've done, and it was kind of easier and more natural to like have the letters merge into each other rather than having to write loads of the same letter over and over again, which does sometimes feel a little bit weird and can actually make it a little bit harder to actually like figure out what to do. So yeah, I feel like the alphabet one was a lot better than quite a few of my other calligraphy ones. So this next one that I did was basically like a drawing one, but it was like a perspective one. So essentially you just had to like copy the trees on the other side. So I started off with the smaller ones but didn't really like them that much, so then I went to the opposite side and did the bigger ones first, and I ended up really loving the first three that I did. So I did them in like pencil first, and then these ones I just added some more details in with my zebra fine liners afterwards. All the leaves and everything were done with watercolour. And overall I ended up really liking the first three that I did. I kind of wish that I'd done those ones first so that I could practice for like doing the smaller ones, but overall it came out okay. It was also like a pretty quick and easy task to do, and yeah, it definitely helps like when you put like these drawing skills into like your actual drawing rather than just in these tasks, because obviously it teaches you like perspectives and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought that one was actually quite a good task, and one that I have been looking at doing for a little while but kind of putting off for some reason, and I don't really know why I was putting it off because it was actually really good. So yeah, the next one that I did was this like watercolor one, I guess. Basically you just had to like draw like a basic shape or object or whatever, and then just use like watercolor as like washes to go over it to color it. Obviously you can see like the example at the top, so obviously the example at the top is just like drawing of some grapes, and then they just put some like block colors over the top. I did definitely blend mine a little bit more than is done in the example, but I do like how mine turned out. So yeah, obviously did a little pumpkin and then just did like a generic wash over the top to begin with, and then just added some like shading in afterwards, and like I said, I did definitely blend it a little bit more than what is done in the example, but overall I do really like how mine came out. Okay, so the next one that I did, basically I had to like create an image using this grid, so I decided to pick something that I could kind of fit into squares anyway. So I decided to do 3 little flowers in a vase. So I did the first flower there in the centre, and then did the vase in watercolour. So the flowers, as you can see, I did in the zebra fine liners that I now use for absolutely everything, and then I just built up like a basic shape and then just repeated it either side. I just did the ones either side in different colours, and then just to link it up I decided to do basically just like 3 green lines, but they kind of go through like the middle of the boxes or go diagonally through the boxes, just to kind of keep along with like the geometry, I guess. And then I just added some fine line pen details to the centre of the flowers afterwards. Obviously because it is pretty basic, I decided to just add a little bit more detail, nothing too crazy, but I did like how that one came out. Overall this week I feel like most things went how I wanted them to go, and I did actually like how things went this week, so I'm quite happy about that. This next one that I did, as you can see, I had to add basically like the leaves and the foliage to the trees, so I did that with loads of different mediums. So I did some pencil ones, I did some of the fine liners, I did some watercolour, and then obviously as you can see I mixed some in together with each other as well. So yeah, I just sort of added the leaves on in different ways, and I can tell that I was definitely feeling like trees this week. Obviously I did the like perspective one as well, and then that kind of made me want to do that one as well, because I'd enjoyed like doing the leaves and like the watercolour on the perspective one. So yeah, that was like my main reasoning for wanting to do that one afterwards. So yeah, it was another like really quick and easy one that you could just get over and done with. So yeah, I enjoyed that one as well. So the last one that I did was actually one that I've been looking at and putting off for ages, basically because I kept looking at it thinking that it was going to take me ages and I couldn't really think of like anything to do, but I just decided this week to give it a go and just actually start. I thought if I just start drawing and doing whatever, yes, it may not come out perfect, I may not be 100% happy with it, but that's the best place to kind of go. It's just to start, and then if you don't like it, learn from it. Obviously this one, there's loads of different options, so I did loads of different designs, and that first one that I did I didn't really like very much, and the second one I really liked. And then yeah, I just kind of carried on and did a bunch of different patterns. This one I just kind of did some lines on it. I was kind of thinking like, what sort of thing do you see on bowls, like if you go shopping or whatever and you see different things, like what sort of patterns do you normally see? And I know there's quite a lot of different ones with like wavy lines and stuff, so that's the kind of vibe that I went for. This one I did kind of want to keep it as like separate lines with the white in the middle, but the symmetry didn't really line up, so I ended up just like colouring it basically. So yeah, I just tried not to think too much about it and just kind of do it. This one I started out with like a blue circle in the middle and then just kept adding circles around it until I'd filled it up. So yeah, I just kind of went for it, and yeah, this one was actually quite a good activity and one that I quite enjoyed doing. So yeah, also just want to say that I am ill this week, which is why I sound like this and also why the video is probably going up a little bit later, because I haven't really had much motivation to actually like edit or anything. Yeah, I've just felt really rubbish, so yeah, that's why it's going up a little bit later, and also why I sound absolutely dreadful. In case anybody was actually wondering, probably not, but just thought to say it anyway. But yeah, I actually really liked this week, and I think I enjoyed most of these. And then as always, I just marked off what we'd done on the tracker at the end. So that was week 18 of my 365 days of art challenge. Let me know what you thought down below, if you've got any ideas for future ones of these or just future videos in general. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.